The objectives of legislative oversight are multifaceted and essential to our democracy. Our mission is to protect citizens' rights and liberties and ensure transparency, curb government excesses, and foster efficient and accountable public sector operations. Legislative oversight also aims to provide the public with the assurances that policies authorized by the legislative arm are being effectively implemented. Our oversight visit today is to assess your achievements, challenges, and needs to ensure that your ministry has all the necessary resources and the legislative backing to carry out its critical responsibilities effectively.
Honorable Chairman, I will also say here that we are looking at how to enlarge the list of materials that will be levied, because we know that some of the fiscal materials are going out of fashion because of technology. So we must also be a step ahead and find ways of increasing the net to capture other areas, other materials that have not been captured under the present order. Honorable Chairman, sir, on the one that has been activated with the kind assistance of the committee and of course the National Assembly, I would say that we now have the corporate levy running. Unfortunately, because the account is not domiciled with us, and we're not the primary point of collection, all we can say here will be more like information made available to us. And I will say here with no fear of contradiction that when, and this is confirmed by the presentation that was made by the Honorable Minister when he addressed the press in May, he did mention that collection had crossed the 5 billion mark. And that we can confirm because we also made that information available based on what we were told from Ministry of Finance or from CBN. I will say now that we've crossed the 6 billion mark. But unfortunately, because the account is not domiciled with us and we're not able to run it directly, we do not have information on the exact amount that has been collected, and we've not been able to access that amount, and we have not benefited, been able to pass the component of that revenue to other bodies that should also be beneficiaries, particularly the private sector, the right owners who through their CMOs, their collective management organizations, should benefit from that revenue and through that pass on to the musicians, the literary people, the filmmakers to help them.
In the area of prosecutions, we have been able to successfully conclude the prosecution and secured conviction of 140 terrorists at the Wawa cantonment in Kainji, Niger State. We have concluded 540 terrorism financing and banditry cases. We have arraigned and are currently prosecuting 858 criminal cases and also currently profiling over 1,522 terrorism and terrorism financing cases investigated by the Department of State Services. Now, through the efforts of the Department of Public Prosecution, we continue to play a critical role in the development of legal frameworks that enhance the justice system through policies that address emerging crimes such as cybercrime, sexual and gender-based violence, maritime offenses, as well as wildlife trafficking.
So what the actuals are we having this kind of variant?
Jeff, is that withholding
presentation? Highly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The document, I will still collect the mic and make my observation.
Typically, sir, we will provide
The budgeted for items. That's how other ministries put a link to ask questions.
House Committee on Justice, distinguished member.
Director, Legal Drafting Department. Thank you and welcome.
Wonderful presentation.
Thank you very much.
clarified that the copyright laws is all encompassing around the country, and they are not being funded effectively to be able to do their duties effectively. So we're going to go back and see how they can get more funding. And then there's a corporate levy that they've not had access to. We want to review that and find out why the corporate levy being collected in conjunction with customs, they are not getting access to it. Well, there were two key points here. There was the issue of the minors that were arrested and arraigned, or were about to be arraigned, and they have explained, and we now understand, I'm sure everyone knows that a statement has been put out that those minors should be released. And then on the second point was the renovation of their premises, where it made a lot of news. They've explained exactly what happened, and the explanation has been taken.